I just put together my perfect, compact, portable 100-watt HF radio station, and it all fits in this tiny little sling bag. Inside here, there's a Yaesu FT-891 in an Armoloq with the digi-rig, a 12 amp hour Bioenno, antennas. I got the JPC 12 antenna. I've got accessories, coax, CW key, and my MacBook Air, and I'm gonna show you how I put it together this time on Ham Radio Tube. So this is my brand new Yaesu FT-891 that I bought several months ago and have been waiting for Hamcation so I could visit Armoloq and buy the cage for the Armoloq. I also bought a bunch of accessories. I paid for all of this. None of this is sponsored, so there you are. Now, I've already done the Anderson Power Pole mod on the 891, so I'll leave a link to this 3D printed thing, but I did this ahead of time just because I did. There's a million videos on YouTube how to do this. It's very, very easy, so go watch one of those videos. Today, we are gonna focus on getting this set up. But the first thing we need to do is perform a little bit of surgery on the radio. We need to remove these little rubber baby buggy bumpers here, and we also need to remove this bail. So let's do that. One and a two. And these are all just Phillips head screws here. Done and done. Now we get a little baggie and we label it FT-891 and place all of our little parts in there and put them in your 891 box so you don't lose them. Now it's time to install the Armoloq, and when we're looking at it, you can see there's this little notch here. This one's gonna go on the right. That notch is so we can access the power button. And then this one here with the cutout notch goes on the left side. You can see we can access the buttons there. So it's just 4 screws. We'll go ahead and do the left just because. And we're gonna attach them into where the mobile mounting bracket would go. So it comes with some washers and some metric hex bolt things there. I don't know if the washers are supposed to go on the underside or the outside. They Armoloq doesn't really have installation instructions on their website that I could find. I'm gonna put them on the radio because I'm thinking it's a spacer for the cage so it doesn't like scratch up the radio. That's kind of my thinking. So we're gonna go with that. And we will put on the screws here and try and align it with the holes. Just like that. And then these guys are 3mm hex. Go ahead and tighten those down. And the other side. Stick it in the hole. Hey, first try. And that is officially installed, just like that. Very, very easy. You can see it covers all your ports and everything in back, covers the knobs and things, ain't gonna damage it. Now we're gonna tackle the power cable. Armoloq makes this cool little power pole holder thing, I guess it's called. I think that's the technical name. So what I did, I made a little harness here with power poles on one end, and I did not put the housings on the other side yet. So we can fish the power wire through this little hole here, like so, and plug it in to our Anderson power pole port like such. So I fished the wire through here, cut it, crimped it. I did it all with the wire just sitting here. So now we can install the housing, hopefully. One click. And 2 clicks, look at that. Now, all of the Armoloq accessories have these M-lock screws on here. So they're gonna slide into the grooves. And then as you tighten them down, they should turn kind of horizontally. And there's a little catch there, a little smaller part there that kind of catches on the rail. So that's how they work. So we'll put that there. And all of these screws are 2.5 millimeter. So we'll go ahead and tighten this guy down. We kind of want to check so we can kind of see maybe that one closest to the power pole is a little cockeyed. So I'm going to back that screw out and make it perfect. There we are. So you can see how they're kind of offset to the rail now. And then to actually install this, the little indents on the power poles here are going to go in these little nubs, and it's a pretty snug fit. So you kind of have to force it a bit, which is good. So now our Anderson power pole is connected. Now, one thing I want to point out in Armoloq, I really wish you did this. We're looking at the back of the radio right now. You've got these two slots here, which look like you'd be able to put the bail back on. But these grooves are ever so slightly too narrow to actually fit this. They don't fit in, but they're the perfect distance. We could have some M-lock connectors right there and then get the bail. Now, I did speak with Ryan at Armoloq, and he's like, yeah, he just clipped off these little nubs. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to like deface anything from the radio, you know? So I might get something to extend these a little bit, like my Dremel tool or some kind of metal grinding something or other to widen these so I can put the bail back on. I'm not gonna do it now because I don't actually have the right tool to do it, but I'm thinking I'm gonna mod this Armoloq cage so I can put the bail back on. How sweet would that be? Armoloq, mod this thing, make it so we can put the bail on it. Next, I'm gonna install the bracket for the coax. Now this is just a little bracket they sell, and these are designed to like, you can put like a BNC bulkhead, or the cables that Armoloq sells, I believe they have TNC connectors on there. I'm not gonna do that, I'm gonna go a different way, but we're gonna go ahead and install this for now, and I'm gonna put this guy right here. I want it a little farther back. You might ask, why aren't I putting it like towards the front? And my thought process is, I don't want it right at the front. I want to have some room for the coax to kind of do its thing. I don't want the coax like right in my face. So that is why I'm putting it here. Get in there. Okay, it's engaged. Try and get it perfectly centered for my OCD. That looks good for now. And tighten it down. Voila. All right, so that's on there now. Now I have a Digirig DR891, and I have the Digirig holder, but the DR891 is actually smaller than the DR Mobile. So he's got this little spacer that's gonna go inside, and then the Digirig sits on that. There's two little grooves in here, so you know which side to point it, because that's where the wires go. So we'll unscrew these guys. Kind of the longer side of this goes to the back where the cables are. So we're going to insert our spacer like so, and try and try to drop the screw in there, maybe. Let's see. What's the worst way to do this? So maybe we put the screws in first. Yep. And then we can slide it in. Screws go through the holes, that's good. Then we can put our M-lock connectors on loosely. And I'm gonna put this guy here somewhere, because I've got another thing I'm gonna put here, so I'm just gonna kind of tighten this down temporarily. I'm gonna get down underneath it to make sure they are seated properly. And they are, all right. Now I have, this is a little extender for the CW key, and I'm gonna put this guy right in front of the Digirig, kind of offset a little bit, something like that. Yeah, I'll put it on this front guy here. That way it's kind of even with this for my OCD, and it also keeps the cord out of the way there. Tighten that guy down. That's good. Starting to come together. And I can actually slide this digi-rig forward a little bit more, so I'm sliding it all the way forward on this. I think that'll work. Maybe, is that how I want it? Yep. All right, that works. Now we can put the DR891 in with the USB-C facing front. So you just kind of force this guy apart, snaps in, holds in place, that's great. And we can get our digi-rig cables that are color-coded. Might not be able to see it, but the one on the right is red and the one on the left is black. So the red goes to the red and the black goes to the black. I'm going to route these cables through here and go ahead and plug them in. All right. And this middle one's our key. Nope, I'm going to put the key down here. Put the key through that hole. That makes me feel better. Then I'm going to zip tie these cables down with just some fancy zip ties I get from Harbor Freight. I find it's easy to kind of bend these a little bit so you can actually like work it into the cage, maybe. There we are. Leave those a little loose for now. I think I'm going to put one more here. And one more here. That should be good. And trim. And then poke those guys down. Beautiful. Just like that. Now we're ready to install our coaxial cable, and while I'm perfectly capable of making a jumper, when I was at Orlando Hamcation, I really wanted to get a 90-degree crimp-on PL259 for like RG58, RG8X, something like that. Nobody sells them. They are unobtainium. So I am going to take a trip down to ABR Industries in Houston, Texas, because I want to have something a little more custom made up. And here we are. Let's go get some cables made. All right, we got our cables. Let's go home. Thanks, Chuck. We'll see you.
You will.
And here is that cable. We've got a BNC, RG58 coax, 1, 2, 3, 4 ferrite beads on here, and a crimp-on 90-degree PL259. I made an entire video at ABR on how we made not only this cable, but we made a couple custom cables for my Armoloq setup with my 818. And you can always save up to 20% at ABR Industries by using code K8MRD10. So there's your shameless plug. Let's get to putting this in. So I'm going to put this guy, try and squeeze it through here, maybe. There we are. And then I'm going to unscrew this little guy. ABR should know what this is if you want to just call them up and say, hey, I want the K8MRD Armoloq 891 special. They should be able to make you this, but they can make you any cable you want. You name it, they got it. Connectors, just random oddball stuff, they got everything. So this, I'm leaving this a little loose so I can kind of turn the cable so we're not having to twist it too much. And then we can install that in our SO239, if I can get it in frame. I'm gonna leave it a little angled towards the bottom just to give space to these guys here while still being inside the cage, just like that. And then make sure everything's good. Go ahead and tighten this down. So I've got an 11/16 spanner and a 5/8 socket wrench. So the 11/16 spanner is gonna go there. And the socket's gonna go there, maybe. And tighten that down and we're good. And how awesome does this look? Insert awesome 891 Armoloq montage here. But now you're probably saying, Mike, you forgot to put the microphone in. No, I did not. Because the Armoloq cage still allows you to remove the head of the radio, I can plug my microphone back in. Just like that. Route the cable, head back on, just like that. Now, you're probably screaming at me for having this screen protector on. I'm leaving that on there for now, and you'll see why in a minute. But I went on Amazon. There's a company called Brotech that makes screen protectors for this, and I have one of their screen protectors on my ICOM ID50, and it works great. So I'm gonna leave this screen protector on until that Brotech comes from Germany, which I'll have in hopefully a few weeks. Now, as far as the power cable, this is the original power cable that came with the 891. I just cut it to length so I can plug it into the power pole housing there. And then I have the fuses still in there, and I can connect this other side to my 12 amp hour Bioenno, which you can save 10% off at Bioenno by using code HRT. Not an affiliate link, I don't get a dime. I just made a deal with Kevin, the owner, to save my viewers of Ham Radio Tube money on all Bioenno products. And now for the bag. This is the Hannibal Tactical Sling Backpack Large Rover Sling Pack Coyote from Amazon that is, of course, unavailable right now, but this fits everything. I will leave a link in the description. I've used this bag before in some videos and I really like it, but it fits everything. So let's show you how to do that. So first, we're going to take our Bioenno battery and insert it lengthwise. Then we can take our radio. This is a very tight fit, mind you. So some coaxing may be required. And mind the screws on the side. Make sure they don't catch on the battery. Looking good. There we are. Got my USB cable connected for the digi-rig. We can just cram that down in there. Makes for easy pull-out game. The power wire I can just route kind of in the top of the bag there. Go ahead and connect that like so. And then for the microphone just wants to fit right there so perfectly. So that's why I bought that screen protector and why I'm leaving it on there, because it just fits so beautifully there. We can zip this guy up. Oops. Like so. And then we can cram our MacBook Air in here. It's a little bit of a tight fit, but it does fit. Hopefully this will stretch over time, just like that. And there is our FT-891 Armoloq Go Bag. And for me, this is a great portable setup for hiking through the woods or just a smaller, lighter weight. You can see I got the JPC-12 in here. These are the rods. And then on the other side, I have the coil and then the connector thing there. There's also the spike and the whip on this side. I've got all kinds of room for storage. I don't have anything in there yet. And over here, we've got some RG316 from ABR Industries with a little choke on there. Here's the radial wires for the JPC-12. And then in this pouch, one on the zipper, I got one of these little Olight iMini 2s. I have these on all my bags. I love them. In here, we've got an Altoids tin with a CW key and some CW accessories there. And then a little bag of parts, a BNC female to PL259, a spare fuse. I think I have 2 spare fuses in there, a GPS dongle, and a couple SO239s to BNC male. And that should keep me very happy on many a field outing. And that is how I built this beautiful Yaesu 891 man pack. What do we call it? Is it a man bag? I don't like that term. Do we call them man bags? Maybe we call it a go bag. Or maybe we call it a man bag because I don't like the term man bag. I don't know. It's kind of a weird term, man bag. But anyway, that's it. And I can't wait to get out into the middle of the woods and play some HF radio, some sideband, some WinLink, maybe some CW. I do make CW contacts if I got a buddy that's out there. My most recent contact, I think, was Mike N2PPI. Got him on Park to Park, so that was cool. So yeah, really excited about this. Check the description for links for as much of this stuff as I can link there. And until next time, my name is Mike, K8MRD. Thanks for watching Ham Radio Tube 73.